Hi guys, it's still Specter here. In today's video, I'm going to be going in depth on how to manage the heat of your GPUs when mining, or if you want to game. If you have been mining for a while, you know that one of the biggest issues for GPUs is that they give off a lot of heat, and they also have a very high ability to overheat. So the aim of this video is going to go through many ways to help you with the heat when it comes to GPUs. Now the main reason for reducing heat is that your GPU will perform better when it comes to mining. GPUs become more efficient at lower temperatures, so therefore we can mine more coins if the temperatures are lower. Now let's head into the main ways to reduce heat on your GPUs. The first and most obvious way to reduce heat is to up the fan speed on your GPU. This can be done in any overclock software such as MSI Afterburner, and allows for the controls over the fan speed. Many people might have their fans at a lower speed because they don't want to wear out the fans. However, fans are easy to replace and are cheap to buy. I'll look at the fact that the fans could be around $15, but if your GPU breaks due to overheating, then you'll lose $500 because your GPU doesn't work anymore. So remember that fans can always be replaced for cheap, but to replace the GPU will cost a lot. So if you're worried, I would just put the fans on 100% just to make sure that it is cooling it down properly. Now if you already have your fans at maximum and are still getting high temperatures, then the next step would be to evaluate the placing of your mining rig. If your mining rig is in a room, it's best to have it on the floor. This is because the heat will always travel to the top of a room, and the colder air will be at the bottom of the room. So this means that your rig will be intaking cooler air from the bottom of the room and pushing it up to the top of the room. Optionally, if you have a window in the room, I would try to open it throughout the day just to allow cooler air to flow to the floor and for the hotter air to flow out of the room. Now, if you're already doing both of these things, the next thing I would look to do is to replace the thermal pads on your GPU. Now, this has become a major problem for the 30 series GPUs, as the stock thermal pads aren't very good when it comes to thermal conductivity. These new GDDR-X6 memory units are only rated for up to 95 degrees, and some people's cards are going over that and even crossing into dangerous territory of burning many of the components of the card. So when it comes to replacing thermal pads, you'll need to open up your cards. This can be done by taking off the fans and then the heat sink protecting the GPU. Once they have been taken off, you'll see all the thermal pads and they will normally be a grey colour. As you can see in this picture, the thermal pads are very worn and they aren't fully sticking to the main components. One of the main things when it comes to thermal pads is that they have to form a really good seal so that the heat can flow freely through it. This is what allows for good thermal conductivity. The stock thermal pads aren't very good at doing this. So once you've opened up the card, you'll want to take off all of these pads and then clean the card with isopropyl alcohol, and get rid of both the thermal pad residue and the thermal paste on the chip itself. Next step is to buy new pads. You can get a variety of thermal pads out there. Generally, the more expensive, the better they are. I've had good success with Thermalite thermal pads as they are really cheap and they work very well for the price. Once you've got the pad sheet, you'll want to cut it down to the right sizes for your card. So if you don't know the size of the pad to cut, all you have to do is search for your card on Google, then put thermal pad size after it, and it should come up with measurements for each card. Now once you've cut them down and stuck them on, you'll want to add thermal paste to your chip and rebuild the card. To ensure you got a good seal, you want to press down a little bit and make sure that the screws are tight on the card. Now if you have a backplate as well, the same steps will apply. Once you've put it back together, I would start by running the fans at 100%, and then start mining. From there, you can lower your fans to the right temperature. This just ensures that you've done it right, and if the cards are getting very hot with the fans, then it means that you haven't done a good enough seal on the pads. Now when it comes to mining performance, you can expect to get better efficiency out of your cards and lower mining temperatures. Lastly, if you guys had any problems with the thermal replacements, then feel free to join the Discord, where I'll try helping you out. The link for that is in the description of the video. You guys can also ask any questions about the mining in there if you need any help with anything else. So I hope you guys have been able to lower the temperatures on your GPU and are mining more efficiently. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more crypto mining content.